The Smithsonian Museum has been facing a lot of criticism, alleging that they have erased history. How so? Apparently, President Donald Trump's two impeachments have been removed from their history display. Earlier this summer, visitors to the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History noticed that the impeachment section of the exhibit, the American Presidency, had been reverted to its pre-2008 version. What does that mean? What? The exhibit simply states, now only 3 presidents have seriously faced removal through the impeachment, referring to Andrew Johnson, Richard Nixon, and Bill Clinton. Now, you could look at that statement and say, well, it said seriously faced removal. You know, they were serious about it, which means what? That the 2 impeachments, one over January 6th, the insurrection, wasn't serious? Or maybe because it didn't work. Well, if you're looking at that part of the criteria, then why not get rid of the Clinton impeachment then? I mean, after all, Clinton, the impeachment against him didn't work. He didn't get removed. Okay. And really, it revolved around first, yes. Oh, water. What was it? There was something to do with property. But really, that didn't work out. It failed. So they immediately went to Clinton lied about getting a blowy under the Resolute desk. That's it. Well, that's what happened. Yep. We got to impeach him for that. Wait, what? I believe it was Whitewater, is what it was called. I was going to say Watergate, but no, that was Nixon. So, by the way, Nixon resigned before being impeached because he would have been removed. But, okay, so looking at Clinton, wait, that wasn't serious then because, again, it didn't work. So if that's the rule now, the Smithsonian is following, then I guess they're going to have to strike the Clinton impeachment. I mean, look, when we look at what happened, yes, the 2 impeachments against Trump, one was for January 6th, the other was for the Ukraine stuff. Yes, obviously Republicans now, they were not going to remove their own president. They just weren't. Okay, they weren't going to remove their own president. Maybe there are Democrats out there that seriously actually believe that Republicans would grow a conscience and vote for impeachment. Again, it would have happened to Nixon, and that would have involved, having bipartisanship, okay, in order to remove him. But nowadays, it doesn't work because the Republican Party is a cult. How many Republicans did vote for Trump's impeachment? Well, in the first one, you only had 1 and 1 count, and that was then Utah Senator Mitt Romney. On the second impeachment, 10 Republicans actually voted for impeachment to get rid of him. Of those 10, by the way, 8 of them are no longer in Congress. 8. They have been defeated by either primary challenges or just ended up having to quit. So there you go. Now, why did the Smithsonian try to get rid of this then? According to sources familiar with the exhibit who spoke to the Washington Post, the Trump White House had pressured them to do so. Spokesperson said the move was part of a broader review of legacy content, which the museum had agreed to conduct. This allegedly followed some political tension from the White House to remove portrait gallery director Kim Saget earlier this year. Now, of course, the Smithsonian's like, no, well, look, we're going to put it back, okay? We're going to put it back. Political stuff, no, we didn't actually remove it. We're going to put it back later. Oh, okay, sure. Now, look, a spokesperson talking about the exhibit said the section of this exhibition covers Congress, Supreme Court impeachment, and public opinion. Because the other topics in the section had not been updated since 2008, the decision was made to restore the impeachment case back to its 2008 appearance. So, once we get all the other stuff updated, then we'll update the impeachment stuff, maybe. Sure. All of this just smells like bullshit. No, look, the museum was clearly bowing to a fascist authoritarian who does not like being reminded that he was impeached twice. Only president to have undergone 2 impeachment hearings. This is Orwellian. Okay, the fact that they are trying to rewrite history to appease this guy. And this is just part of the problem with all of our institutions seemingly bending the knee to this fascist authoritarian. Along with the Smithsonian, again, who just did this U-turn on that. So maybe they're not going to do it after all because of the call-outs. But in addition, you have colleges, law firms, companies, big corporations, right? Like Meta and Google and all them. Paramount that wants to merge with other companies. These television networks, they're all rolling over. And it's sick to watch the absolute cowardice of these institutions, these companies. You know why? Because they're all doing it for money. They're all doing it for money. They'll go along with the fascism as long as they keep bringing in the cash. And that's something that has always been true. Okay? Companies, the wealthy, have always supported fascists when it comes to their money. Look at the companies that did business with the Nazis. IBM, Coca-Cola, Ford Motor Company, General Motors, Eastman Kodak, many others. In some cases, for example, GM and Ford had agreed to convert their German plants to making German war machines. When U.S. government documents showed that they were still resisting calls for military production at U.S. plants at home. Obviously, this was before the U.S. went to war, okay, had entered the war. So these companies totally cool with helping the German war machine. In fact, the head of GM at the time was not only an ardent opponent of the New Deal, progressive reforms, but he also admired and supported Adolf Hitler. And that just shows you, business leaders will always support fascists over progressives every single goddamn time. And it shouldn't be forgotten, shouldn't be forgiven. Even the Associated Press at the time had supplied images for a Nazi propaganda book called Jews in the USA, and another titled The Subhuman. I mean, come on. The news agency had even reached a formal agreement with the Nazi regime to hire propagandists as reporters. So, is anybody at all surprised that businesses and big institutions that rely on federal funding are bending to what is now the modern Nazi movement? I'm not. You shouldn't be either. The Smithsonian bending the knee to Trump is just the latest example of this very long and depressing trend. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you become a member on our YouTube page, you become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.